Are you thinking about diving into the entrepreneurial world and wondering what it takes to make it big? Well, today we will answer all the questions for you. Welcome back, everyone, to another captivating episode of Zeeshan's podcast, where we discuss all things branding and more. Today, we have the privilege of talking to Shubham Sharma, who's the CEO of Haley Spark, an esteemed marketing communication firm. He himself is a renowned figure, having earned accolades like Forbes 30 under 30 Asia and Outlook India's top 10 personalities. Shubham, it's great to have you here. The journey from political advisor to an award winning entrepreneur is truly impressive. Can you share some pivotal moments that led you where you are today? And how did the entrepreneurial bug pick you? Shubham, it's great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Zeeshan, first of all, for having me as a guest in your podcast and to share some pivotal moments. So, one, I would say I wanted to try something unique and different. I was not ready to accept whatever happening around my society, around me, basically. Second was the okay, I have made some commitment. It could be to your team, it could be your partners, your investors, customers. So, okay, I decided to honor those commitments at that day. And those are the people basically who are like standing beside our company. So, I would start from my childhood, and everyone actually in my family is from government job background basically. So I'm the first one to walk on this entrepreneurial path and become a businessman or be an entrepreneur actually and found the startups in multiple sectors. I would start from my childhood, and I have seen the family members to do that typical 9 to 5 job actually. So I wanted to try something different. I have seen the family, so I had decided in my childhood only I would never work in a typical 9 to 5 job or taking some order from anyone else. And just following what everyone is following actually I always wanted to do things differently in a unique way. So I always had this thought, okay, things are going in this way, but I can challenge them, I can improve the way things are happening in our society. So that was the mindset I was having from the beginning, very unique. So I had decided in my childhood only. Second moment, I would say basically when a few years ago when I was working on one of my startup idea, I had to catch a train early in the morning from Jaipur to Delhi. I had the meeting early in the morning with a couple of my clients, and I had invested my time like at least almost 7 to 8 days, and the meetings were so important actually for they were my customers, some of them were investors. I had to catch the train, and it was so rainy like day, and I was like riding a scooty, and my mother was sitting on back side basically, and suddenly due to some issues I slipped on my scooty and I was bleeding, there was pain. So at that time, I had two options. Either I can go back home, I can take necessary medical help, but I choose to go ahead with the scheduled meetings. So regarding the entrepreneurial bug, when I was in college, so from childhood only, as I mentioned, I want to try something different. So I would say the entrepreneurial bug bitten me so early in my childhood days only, and one of the biggest factor was because of my family background being from the government job.
That's an incredible journey, Shubham. It's like a chain of events which led you to where you are today. And not many people have figured it out so early like you. That's great. That's really great to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing it. And today we are exploring a bit more about the mindset which you have or had since the beginning. How can entrepreneurs, or rather beginners in the entrepreneurial journey, can get into that mindset?
I
What?
would say it is made of few important factors. First, I would say clarity. So I have seen many entrepreneurs, fellow entrepreneurs as well, and there are people who are still in the 9 to 5 job. They want to become an entrepreneur, but they are not ready to take that risk. It could be multiple factors, so we are not want to judge their situations. But obviously, either you are all in or all out. You should have that clarity basically from the very beginning. Like I just said, from the beginning in my childhood only, I was clearly okay. I don't want to do a 9 to 5 job. I don't want to take order. I want to challenge things already happening in my society. I want to do it different way. The mindset was clear. Okay, I don't want to prepare for a government job. I don't want to take it in the placement. All I have to do in my life is to become an entrepreneur, lead something, create something valuable for the society or maybe for the customers at large basically. So clarity is important. You just can't work on different projects. Entrepreneurship is such a project where you have to be all out. Second is action. I have seen so many entrepreneurs, even I also had this habit in the beginning of my career basically. Okay, when we take this plunge of entrepreneurship, okay, we have so many dreams, we make so many plans as well, we do research and everything, okay, we will do this and that. So taking action is necessary. Start small, but please start. I would say clarity and actions make the majority of the entrepreneurial mindset. And why it's important, obviously, if you are not clear with your mindset, if you are not taking the necessary actions on your plans, whatever time you have spent, you dream to become an entrepreneur, you spend the majority of the time. Some people take months, some take years, some take minutes. Basically, you already spend your precious time and energy on any XYZ project you want to start. Now, if you're not taking the action, obviously you have wasted your precious time. Basically, that's why I would say these two factors are important for an entrepreneurial mindset.
Shubham, why is resilience such a key factor? As you keep on saying that you need to take action, but you also need to be resilient in taking that action. Why is it a key factor for beginners in entrepreneurship?
Everyone would agree that doing business is not a bad of process, especially when you don't come from business family. Especially, I'm taking my own example, and maybe many of it would relate. Basically, the people who have no support system, maybe it could be related to the funding, finance, maybe a team support or some knowledge regarding that industry. So no matter whatever happens, if you are beginner, entirely beginner to that industry, you will face challenges. You can't avoid that, and it takes a lot of courage to take that first step. And no matter how good you are at it, we even have the examples and case studies as well. People have been successful in their corporate jobs, but when they started this entrepreneurial journey, they failed. Basically, it is inevitable. You will definitely face challenges, you will definitely face losses, and that resilience is the only key factor which will help you to like survive in this journey of entrepreneurship. You either succumb to these circumstances and shut down, or have patience, try to manage the crisis somehow and come out of it. And 90% of time, I can assure you, if you have resilience, you will come out of it. Anyways, you will find the way to survive in this journey of entrepreneurship. So you
Isn't it difficult to stick to the same mindset even if you don't succeed initially? I mean, where does adaptability come into the picture? And how does being adaptable contribute to an entrepreneurial mindset? These are three different questions, but I feel they are all interconnected. So I would love to hear what you have to say about it.
So I won't say it isn't difficult, because it is actually. But when I think when you build an acceptance for it, things become a bit easier with time. You just have to accept that things will change, and you will have to find your way around it. You cling on to small achievements initially, they matter the most. We live in a dynamic world. There's a constant innovation. You have to keep up with the technology, with the trends, especially like if we talk about an example with AI automating a huge chunk of out of our lives. You need to constantly prove your merit as a human being. Therefore, for an entrepreneur, acceptance brings adaptability, which further leads to growth. Moreover,
Right.
failures are part of our experiences. Success doesn't teach you much, but failure does. One shouldn't see them as a character development, at least that's how I see it. And adaptability is something, for example, let's say you got an idea someday, and you are so crazy passionate about it, and you have spent your like years of hard work preparing the plans, reaching out to the investor, doing innovation, finding a right team and everything. Suddenly, just imagine a day a billion-dollar company comes out with an innovative idea to disrupt that industry, and you think, oh, my entire hard work has gone waste. So obviously, you can't just accept that if you are a true entrepreneur. So you have to like pivot around it. You will have to do something with. That's how being adaptable contribute to our entrepreneurial mindset.
The mindset is so different. Just taking your example, as you said, that somebody who's successful in a corporate world doesn't mean they'll be a successful businessman or entrepreneur as well. Moreover, the mindset in the corporate world is that you cannot fail. Here, as you're saying, that failure is part of the journey, and you need to understand that if you don't fail, you won't really get to that part where you succeed, right? So, why is it essential for beginners to view failure as a stepping stone?
In the beginning, one is bound to make mistakes. I also started as a complete fresher. I didn't have any job experience in the industry. Making mistakes and failing was my tool for learning, I would say. You can say for people coming with the years of industry experience as well, we just discussed this type of point. They might know the work better, but you only understand business when you step into it actually. So when you start seeing failure as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block, you only make your life easier. You aren't too hard on yourself. You give yourself the space to grow. As we discussed, it is inevitable. You can't avoid your failures, but failures will give you the kind of learning you can't have in any coaching institute or MBA college. As we
This
discussed.
isn't part of our initial conversation which we discussed, but I want to ask this question to you. Um, if somebody feels that they are better worse at being entrepreneurs rather than working for somebody else, what are the essential things they should have with themselves before starting their entrepreneurial journey? What are some of the things which they should have in their bags?
Some pros and cons basically. So people like beginners basically where they lack the experience, network, maturity. The people with the corporate experience already have some set of connections basically. So especially to give you an example, when I was starting my journey, so many of the people, especially relative, told me to have some at least years of experience in the corporate sector so that I will learn the things basically how to do execute the task, or I will make some connections, and then I can start my journey. If you are entirely new, you don't have any support system immediately after leaving the job, it is advisable and preferable actually. And obviously, there is a condition you should be passionate about. You should passionate as well about whatever you are trying to build. Basically, if these conditions apply, then you should start in the same industry in which you already have a corporate experience, basically, or somewhere similar where you can, or if not entirely in that same industry, you can start something where actually you can utilize your connection, your networking, your experience, and whatever support you have gathered basically while working as a corporate leader. That is one of the important factors. When you start working as an entrepreneur, that's a sudden switch basically, because in corporate sector you have got a habit of getting okay fixed monthly salary and
Yeah.
everything is well established, going as per your plans. But when as soon as you are on an entrepreneurial path, you will face a lot of uncertainty. So
Yeah.
before starting to that entrepreneurial path, you need to develop that mindset. That clarity should be there in your mindset. Okay, there I have to do this. No, it won't work. Okay, I want to continue the 9 to 5 job as well, and at the same time, okay, my raat mein in the night on part time or maybe in the weekend I will have this my entrepreneurial journey continue. No, that won't work. You have to be all in and all out. But if you have decided to go ahead on this entrepreneurial journey being a corporate person, you should be ready to face the challenges. Things won't go as planned, that's for sure. So you can't just again join your corporate job. You can definitely join, but if you are an entrepreneur, you want to be an entrepreneur, before leaving your corporate job, have that mindset. So first, I would say try to utilize, either choose the same industry or choose an industry in such a way that you can utilize your existing experience, your network, everything, whatever you have learned in the corporate job. First point. Second advice is before starting the entrepreneurial journey, clear your mindset. There will be challenges, there will be losses, and you can't just run away from these challenges. You will have to fight. That fighting mindset needs to be there. Basically, it doesn't matter if you are a college student, you are a corporate leader. That mindset needs to be there. Basically,
Just gave us a blueprint to most of the people who are working in a corporate sector how to shift from a working job, and you've been bitten by the entrepreneurial bug and you want to move to the business side of the world. So this is the blueprint Shubham has given us, and you can remember it for your life. Wrap up things now. Let's move on to another aspect, as in the context is the people who are already in the entrepreneurial journey. They're startup founders, business owners, and entrepreneurs. What advice would you give them to keep their journey on the right track?
any business will always involve risk taking. So only dive into it if you have the courage to swim through the challenges. This is the first basic pillar, I would say, step basically to enter the entrepreneurship world. There will be other challenges as well, but I would say risk taking. So second is you have to evolve with the industry. I gave you an example where you're talking about okay, you might have spent years of hard work and one day you realize there has been a unicorn startup or any big billion-dollar company which have disrupted the industry within another innovation. Basically, what would you do basically? Obviously now you can't just
Right.
you can't just think basically okay, I have just wasted my years of hard work. No, that mindset won't work. You have to evolve with the industry. You will have to pivot. Nobody will wait you to catch up. You will have to run neck to neck with the cutthroat competition in the market. Third, I would say there will be days when you will feel like you are nearing the end, but that's when you have to bounce back with another plan. Entrepreneurs don't give up. There has been a lot of debates around mental health, mental awareness. So much is going on LinkedIn, but as an entrepreneur, also we need to understand this fact. There are times even uh, I'm not categorizing the entrepreneurs कि okay this is a failed entrepreneur, this is a successful entrepreneur. Entrepreneur होता है. So I'm not categorizing the entrepreneur, and every entrepreneur, whether the entrepreneur is failed or successful, everyone has their own share of failures. There have been moments, including me as well, where okay, you want to talk to someone, you want to share, you want to find people. There are people around you, but you need people who can understand your mindset basically.
Yeah.
You will see there are people around you, but as a human being, we will have an opportunity to speak to so many people, friends, colleagues, families, relatives. But as an entrepreneur, you even if people are around you, you will find yourself alone. You will find that you can't discuss this topic basically. There will be so many like moments. There will be stress. There will be disappointment, and as we discussed it earlier as well, things every time things will not go as planned. So will have to be ready with the backup plans as well. And one of the most important thing to mention is please don't give up, don't leave hope. So and if you have done something really good and you have the nice intentions, you have been committed, so there will be something basically things will turn around for sure with time.
Shubham, I can tell you from my personal experience that we have all been there. We felt like that this is the last day of my journey and I should, go back to corporate job or start doing something else or seek help from somebody. But your
Yeah.
mindset really sets you apart and you are the true example of this thought. Thank you so much for being with us today and spilling all the beans. And we hope to host you again with another intriguing topic. Thank you so much again. So much. And that wraps up another exciting episode of Zeeshan's podcast where we discuss all things branding and more. I'm sure you found this conversation as intriguing and exciting as I did, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more captivating weekly conversations around branding and more. And as I say goodbye, let me leave you with a mantra. Your unique voice can make you a thought leader in your own way. Know its importance. See you next week, everyone.